Last night was one of the best nights of my life. That's probably what the title of the video is going to be. It's not clickbait. It was last night was really fun. No, I didn't go partying and I wasn't doing anything illegal. It was just fun. We went to a concert and I brought my camera and I recorded a little. I hope you guys enjoy and let's get into the video, I guess.
Give it up one more time for Big Daddy Wee! Has anybody been redeemed in this place tonight? Anybody been set free tonight? Woo! What an incredible time of worship we've already had in this place. We're going to continue to worship tonight. My name is Jason Barton and I have a question for you guys. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the words, let's worship? For a lot of you in the room tonight, probably the first thing that you think of is singing, right? And that's totally understandable given the nature of this night. But I want to remind you guys that worship is more than singing. It's more than singing. I mean, singing's part of it, right? But what about praying and confession, repentance, obedience, and what about other outward expressions of worship like giving, feeding someone who's hungry, going the extra mile with someone, or what about this one? Loving your neighbor as yourself. All acts of worship. You see, you guys, I believe that the everyday parts of our lives become worship when we live them out of the overflow of our heart and who our heart is beating for. When our heart is beating for the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, when we value God above all things, the everyday parts of our lives become worship. Paul even reminds us of this in Colossians. He says, whatever you do, whether in word or in deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through Him. You know, one of my favorite authors is Max Lucado. Do you guys love Max? I love Max. It reminds me of a time in my life when I learned this truth firsthand, and it was on a trip that I got to take to Ethiopia and Africa. And while I was there, I was taken out to the African bush to this tiny little hut of a home, and it was no bigger than a walk-in closet. Now I look out across this audience tonight and I realize that some of you in the room, you have a walk-in closet in your home, so I just want you to picture with me this tiny, tiny room of a home where the walls were made of mud. So I walk inside the door of this home and I'm greeted by 4 kids, a 12-year-old boy, an 8-year-old girl, a 5-year-old girl, and an 18-month-old baby girl. Beautiful, beautiful kids, and I fell in love with them. They were so awesome. And the longer I hung out with them and I got to know them, the deeper love I fell with them. But I noticed something while I was at their home. Their parents weren't around. So I asked the guy that brought me there, I said, hey, where are these kids' parents? Because I want to meet them. These kids are awesome, man. They're doing such a great job raising these kids. I have to meet them. I just want to encourage them. Where are they? And that tiny, tiny little room got silent. And that guy paused and he looked over at me and he said, Jason, these kids, they don't have parents any longer. He said their parents passed away from tuberculosis, which I don't know if you guys know, but that's something that's actually treatable. He said, but at the time, they didn't have medical supplies to treat them, so they're gone, they died, and these children are left alone in the world. He said, this is what we call here in Ethiopia a child-headed household, and there are thousands of them here. I said, back up one second, what did you just say? He said, it's exactly what it sounds like. Child-headed household. He put his arm around that little boy and he said, this 12-year-old boy right here, he is the head of this home. And he's responsible for himself and his 3 sisters, one of which was a baby. I couldn't believe it. My heart broke. He said, Jason, when we found this family, they had absolutely nothing. All they had were these 4 tiny walls made of mud, and that's it. He said they didn't have a floor inside of their home. It was just dirt. No roof over their head, wide open sky. He said, here in Africa, we have rainy season, and it lasts for months at a time. So day in and day out, he said, these children, they're getting pelted with rain, even while they sleep at night. And when they did sleep, they didn't have a bed to sleep in, like you and I do. So where did they sleep? In the mud. They were sleeping in mud. He said they didn't have shoes on their feet. They were so sick and malnourished that when we found them, we didn't even know if the baby was going to survive. They were literally starving. They did not have enough food. They didn't have clean water either. Now that's something you and I, we probably take for granted every day. He said, but they didn't have it, so they were constantly getting sick. He said they couldn't go to school and get an education like some of their friends who lived in the village because to go to school, you have to have adequate clothing, and they didn't have enough. He said, you have to have school supplies. Well, they certainly didn't have those. They didn't have anything. They had zero, nothing, except 4 walls made of mud, and that's it. He said, Jason, we would find them just wandering the streets of this village, completely lost and completely hopeless. He said, but then something amazing happened. He said a family in the United States, they decided to sponsor this 12-year-old boy, and because of that, we were able to come into this home and place a floor where there was no floor. He said, look down, do you see this floor? He said, it's because somebody believed and sponsored this little boy. He said, look up, and I looked up, and he was smiling real big. He said, you see that? A roof. They have a roof over their head. They're not getting rained on any longer. He said, look at the little beds that we brought in for them to sleep on. They have a place to lay their head at night. He said, you want to know why? He said, because somebody believed and sponsored this little boy. He said they have shoes on their feet. They're back on track health-wise because finally they have enough food for all of them and they have clean water. He said, listen to this. Every single child is exactly where they need to be health-wise for the first time ever. He said, you want to know why? He said, because somebody believed. Jesus loves you. Amen. Jesus loves you.
Guys, I'm sorry, but I didn't have enough footage for the whole entire speech. But let me know if you guys just want to have a video where I just upload the full speech. I mean, I'm good with doing that. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Chris Tomlin concert. I had a blast. My family and friends had a blast. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.